Have you heard of Choo Young-woo? If you're a K-drama fan, you've probably seen that shy but charming smile that seems to light up any scene. He appears at awards shows, receives warm applause, and is now considered one of the brightest prospects on Korean television. But what many don't know is that behind all that brilliance lies a story full of challenges. A story that shows that the path to success isn't always easy. And believe it or not, Choo Young-woo almost gave up on everything before he even began to shine. Imagine for a moment, you dream of being an actor, you prepare, you study, you pour all your energy into an audition, and you get a no. Then you try again, and you get another no. This happened to him more than 100 times. Yes, 100 times. And each rejection weighed like a stone on his heart. Anyone in his place would consider giving up. And he did. The dream seemed distant, almost impossible. But this is where the story gets interesting. Because even with so many doors closed, something inside Choo Young-woo wouldn't let him stop. It was like a voice saying, "Try one more time, just one more time." And it was precisely this persistence that changed the course of his life. Today, we see the actor smiling on red carpets, being recognized in famous dramas, and winning fans not only in Korea but around the world. But to understand how he got here, we need to go back to the beginning. We need to discover the part of the story that almost no one knows. The journey of a young man who almost gave up, but decided to fight. And that's what you're about to see. Choo Young-woo's life as you've never seen it before. A journey of falls, but also of new beginnings. A story that shows that believing in yourself can transform everything. So get ready, because you're about to go behind the scenes of this incredible journey. And before you continue, be sure to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell, because here you'll always find the most inspiring and moving stories from the world of K-drama. Choo Young-woo was born on June 5, 1999, in South Korea. For many, this might have been just another date on the calendar, but it marked the beginning of the life of someone who, years later, would become one of the most talked about faces in the K-drama world. From an early age, Young-woo had that sparkle in his eyes that showed he wanted something different. While many children dreamed of being doctors, teachers, or athletes, he was captivated by the world of acting. He enjoyed imagining stories, observing characters in films and dramas, and thinking, one day, I want to be there too. But of course, dreaming is easy. The hard part is turning that dream into reality. For an ordinary child, in an ordinary family, the idea of becoming an actor seemed distant, almost unattainable. It was like trying to touch the stars, beautiful, but improbable. But Young-woo didn't see it that way. For him, acting wasn't just a passing fancy. It was a true passion, something that beat deep within him and left no room for doubt. And here comes the first point that captivates anyone. Can you imagine a boy so young, already knowing exactly what he wanted for his life? It's rare. But Choo Young-woo had that clarity. The problem is that along with this dream also came the first challenges. Studying acting wasn't easy. Dedication wasn't enough. He had to dive in head first. He rehearsed, practiced expressions, and tried to understand how to convey emotions with just his gaze. It was almost as if he were building, brick by brick, the foundation of what would one day become his career. And here's a curiosity few know. His talent seemed natural, but the path wasn't easy. Young-woo grew up in an environment where hearing "this won't work" was common. And yet, every negative word became fuel to keep going. This is the part that reveals who he truly was from an early age. A young dreamer who wasn't easily shaken. But what happened when he finally decided to pursue this dream seriously? Did the acting world welcome him with open arms? Or did the obstacles become even greater? That's what you'll discover in the next chapters of Choo Young-woo's story. A story that shows that believing in yourself is the first key to turning dreams into reality. Now, imagine the scene. A hallway full of young dreamers, all with the same goal: to land a role in a drama. Some are nervous, others try to hide their anxiety, and everyone clutches the script tightly in their hands. There in the middle is Choo Young-woo. He also dreams of shining on the big screen. But what he didn't know was that this phase would turn into one of the most difficult battles of his life. Before landing his first role, Young-woo auditioned for over 100 times. Yes, over 100. And in almost every one, the answer was always the same: no. Now think about it. How would you feel if you heard the same rejection over and over again? For someone so young, it was like carrying a huge weight on your shoulders. Each no seemed to say, "You're not good enough." But the curious thing is that even with so many disappointments, he kept trying. And here's the most inspiring point. Most people would have given up after the 10th, 20th, or perhaps even the 50th failure. But Choo Young-woo kept going. It was as if he were fighting 3 battles at once: against frustration, against doubt, and against the urge to give up. And, let's be honest, giving up would have been the easier path. After all, who can stand hearing so many no's in a row without thinking it might be better to quit? But he had a flame within him that wouldn't go out. With each rejection, instead of giving up, he sought to improve. He observed other actors, trained more, fine-tuned details. It wasn't just talent, it was endurance, it was willpower. This phase of Choo Young-woo's life reveals a harsh truth. Success never comes without a struggle. And his was a long one. Each failed test was a step on the ladder he needed to climb to get to where he is today. And do you know what makes this part of the story even more moving? Just when he was on the edge, thinking about leaving everything behind, an unexpected opportunity completely changed the course of his life. But what was this opportunity? And how did it transform a nearly defeated young man into a rising actor? That's what you'll discover in the next chapter of this inspiring story. After so many failed attempts and over 100 no's, it seemed fate was pushing Choo Young-woo away from the stage and cameras. He was already at his limit, wondering if he should pursue another path. But it was precisely in this moment of uncertainty that life decided to surprise him. In 2021, Young-woo received the opportunity that would change everything. His first role in a web drama called You Make Me Dance. To many, it might have seemed like a small production without much attention. But for him, it was as if he had finally been able to breathe after so long trapped underwater. It was proof that all those days of effort had not been in vain. Playing Song Si-on, a young man with an artistic dream, he wasn't just acting. He was putting on screen the struggle he carried within. It was almost as if life had written that character especially for him. And you know what's even more curious? Even though it was his first big opportunity, Young-woo didn't let his nerves get the better of him. He knew that moment could be decisive, so he threw himself into it body and soul. He rehearsed with discipline, listened to advice from his more experienced colleagues, and threw himself into the challenge as if it were his last chance. And perhaps it was. The result? The public noticed. Even though You Make Me Dance, while it wasn't the most popular drama of the time, it caught the attention of the people who really mattered, directors and producers. For the first time, Choo Young-woo stopped being just another name on a list of candidates and began to be recognized as someone with real potential. That was the turning point. The boy who had almost given up was finally being seen. And when someone with so much talent starts to be noticed, doors that once seemed closed begin to open. It was from this small step that a new phase of his life began. But the question remains, was this first role enough to secure his place in the K-drama world? Or would he still have to prove once, again, that he deserved to be there? The answer came soon after, with work that would make his name shine even brighter. The first step had been taken, but would just one opportunity be enough to change everything? The truth is, for an actor starting out, one role can open doors, but it takes much more to truly gain traction. And that's exactly what Choo Young-woo did. Soon after his debut, he received invitations to participate in larger, more challenging productions. Among them were Police, University and School, 2021. These dramas were crucial to his journey because they finally put his name in front of a wider audience. In Police University, Young-woo played Park Min-kyu, a character who brought a mix of charisma and intensity. Audiences began to realize that they weren't just another newcomer, but someone who knew how to connect with the story's emotions. Already in School 2021, he brought Young-joo to life, an even more remarkable role, which showed his range and versatility as an actor. And the most incredible thing? Critics noticed too. For the first time, Choo Young-woo was nominated for Best New Actor. For a young man who, not long before, had been repeatedly rejected from auditions, being nominated for awards was almost surreal. Imagine what it must have been like to hear his name among the nominees, a true sign that his hard work was beginning to pay off. The audience also responded warmly. Fans began to emerge, praising not only his appearance, but, above all, his delivery in the roles. Many commented on how he could convey deep emotions with just his gaze, a detail that would become his trademark. Little by little, Young-woo stopped being seen as just another rookie actor and began to be recognized as someone with a promising future within the industry. This was the moment Choo Young-woo's career truly began to take shape. He was no longer the young man who kept getting rejected at auditions. Now, he was a rising actor, with visibility, recognition, and new opportunities arising every day. But the big question was, how far could he go? Would these early achievements be just the beginning of an even greater journey? The answer came soon after, with a role that not only solidified his career, but also showed the world that Choo Young-woo was born to shine. After starting to gain recognition, Choo Young-woo still needed a role that truly showed audiences and critics that he wasn't just a promising prospect, but someone ready to become a leading man. And that chance came in 2022, with the drama Once Upon a Small Town. It was in this job that his career took a huge leap. This time, he wasn't just a supporting character, he was the main character. Playing Han Ji-yul, a young veterinarian who leaves the big city to live in a quiet village, Young-woo had the opportunity to showcase his full acting chops. And the most interesting thing is that the role seemed tailor-made for him. Like Ji-yul, Young-woo had also experienced moments of doubt where he considered giving up, but found the strength to carry on. It was as if he were putting a piece of his own life into the character, and don't think it was easy. To play Ji-yul, he studied veterinary medicine, learned how to work with real animals, and dedicated himself to conveying a natural look in every scene. Alongside Joy from Red Velvet, who played the female lead, he displayed chemistry, sensitivity, and emotion. It didn't take long for the audience to notice. Fans quickly commented on how captivating his performance was, how he could express feelings with just a look, and how he seemed born for the role. It was at this moment that Choo Young-woo's image changed. He went from being just a rising new actor to being seen as a major leading man. Critics recognized him, fans embraced him, and his career was never the same again. But the question was inevitable. After landing such a remarkable role, could he maintain that level and surprise even more? The answer came soon after, in another drama that would cement his name as one of the greatest talents of the new generation. After the success in Once Upon a Small Town, it seemed like Choo Young-woo had finally found the place he'd always dreamed of. But had the fear of not being enough gone? The truth is no. Even with the praise, he still carried within him memories of the hundreds of rejections and doubts that had almost made him give up. Only this time, something had changed. Now, he had proof that he was capable. In 2023, a new challenge came. Drama Oasis, unlike anything he had done before, this role demanded intensity, emotion, and complete dedication. Young-woo played Choi Chul-woong, a complex character marked by rivalries and broken dreams. It was a role that demanded not only talent but also maturity, and he did not disappoint. His performance was praised by critics, who praised how such a young actor could convey such weight and depth on screen. It was at that moment that Choo Young-woo finally overcame the shadow of doubt. If before he had wondered if he truly deserved to be there, now he was certain. He not only belonged in this world, but he could lead it. Oasis. It was the acid test that showed the public and the industry that he was not just a passing revelation, but a rising star. And the reward came soon after. Young-woo began receiving awards, such as the Baeksang Arts Award for Best New Actor, one of the most important in Korea. For someone who almost gave up, standing on stage holding a trophy was more than a professional victory. It was a symbol of overcoming obstacles. From that moment on, there was no doubt. Choo Young-woo had left behind the insecure audition kid and become one of the most promising names in K-drama. And the big question now was, what would be his next step? How far could this talent take him? After so many struggles and achievements, we've reached the present. Today, Choo Young-woo is no longer that unknown boy who ran from audition to audition, hearing no after no. He's a recognized actor, award-winning and beloved by fans both inside and outside Korea. But the most interesting thing is realizing that his journey is still just beginning. In recent years, he has ventured into different genres and shown that he can go much further. In the tale of Lady Oak, he's shown in a historical role full of nuances, proving that he can adapt to any style of drama. Soon after, in the Trauma Code, Heroes on Call, a Netflix medical series, he played a completely different character, Yang Jae-won, a young doctor facing personal and professional dilemmas. The result? Another major award, the Blue Dragon Series Award for Best New Actor. These roles not only strengthened his career but also opened new doors. Choo Young-woo has gone from being just the promise to becoming the present of K-dramas, and there's still much more to come. In 2025, he's already confirmed for Head Over Heels, another drama that promises to enchant the audience and show different sides of his acting. But perhaps most striking is how his fans view his journey. For many, he represents hope. After all, he's living proof that even when everything seems to be going wrong, not giving up can completely change your destiny. The young man who almost abandoned his dream now inspires thousands of people to believe in their own paths. And that's where the big question lies. If he's already achieved so much in such a short time, what does the future hold? One thing is certain. Choo Young-woo has everything it takes to become one of the greatest actors of his generation. And following his journey is like watching a thrilling K-drama in real time, full of challenges, triumphs, and achievements. And so we come to the end of this incredible journey. Choo Young-woo's story is much more than just an actor's journey. It's proof that dreams only come true when we persist, even when everything seems to be going wrong. Think about it. He could have stopped after so many rejections. He could have accepted that perhaps he wasn't cut out for this. But he chose to keep going. And it was precisely that choice that changed everything. Today, we see a recognized, award-winning artist with a bright future. But above all, we see an example of courage. Because believing in yourself when no one else does is the true secret to success. Choo Young-woo shows us that the greatest victories are not born from comfort, but from persistence in the face of difficulties. And perhaps this is the most important message for those who follow his journey. No matter how many no's you hear, what really matters is not giving up. If a boy who almost abandoned his dream was able to transform his life, why can't you? So now I want to hear from you. Have you ever thought about giving up on something you dreamed of? How did you overcome that moment? Tell us in the comments, because your experience might inspire others too. Oh, and don't forget, if this video touched you, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell. Here you'll always find real, inspiring, and moving stories from the world of K-drama. Because the lives of the actors we see shine on screen can hide lessons that change the way we see our own dreams.